Hello, today we will speak about mindfulness and how and if it can be a benefit for organizations.
After having completed our reading, we have decided to carry out interviews with different people, from different job fields, in different countries. We then looked at the different perceptions of the importance of mindfulness and came to our conclusion.
Mindfulness is not a physical practice, it is an approach to work and time that respects the mind's ability to concentrate on one task at a time and respects the requirement of people to reflect on our decisions and actions.
We would define mindfulness as the deliberate choice to balance out the stress at work with relaxing activities in one's private life. The decision to concentrate on work tasks to complete them without mistakes. The efficient completion of work tasks and the quick resolution of issues in the workspace is necessary to have a free mind in one's private life.
Thus, mindfulness in the workspace aims at solving one's work issues during the therefore designated time, in order to have a free mind when at home. Mindfulness creates a better work-life balance.
When relentless work pushes a person into a debilitating state, the person reached the state of burnout. A 2013 survey of more than 5,100 North American workers found that 62% felt high levels of stress, loss of control, and extreme fatigue. Research has also linked burnout to many negative physical and mental health outcomes, including coronary artery disease, hypertension, sleep disturbances, depression, and anxiety, as well as to increased alcohol and drug use. Burnout can be provoked by three factors: exhaustion, cynicism, and inefficiency. The main symptom of a burnout is the exhaustion. Indeed, it is a cognitive, physical, and emotional fatigue that may be caused by a high amount of work. Then, cynicism or depersonalization is taking distance with its work and the loss of motivation. It can be due to conflicts at work or a lack of participation in the decision-making. Thus, there is no more proudness and enjoyment of doing that job. Finally, inefficiency is the lack of competencies for the given work. It often stems from exhaustion and cynicism, but it can also appear first, because of a lack of resources, for example. These three factors are interrelated, and one can lead to another. Being aware of the factors leading to burnout can already prevent an individual or even a group. Burnout has been investigated as rarely an individual phenomenon, and fixing and preventing also requires diligent leadership for others and oneself. Factors addressing the recovery and prevention from burnout are the prioritization of self-care, a shift of the perspective. If necessary, a reduction of job stresses and seeking out a more beneficial environment. Understanding burnout and sensing signals can be the result of a more sustainable career and even leading to a happier and healthier life.
How old are you?
23.
What is your nationality?
Canadian.
What do you do for a living?
I am a self-employed photographer.
Is it important for you to work in your home country?
I would like to work anywhere in the world. My job is one without any frontier. I hope I'll be able to work for agencies around the world later.
What is your passion? Could you tell us a little bit about how you have reached the point at which you are now?
My passion is photography. School was amazing and I enjoyed it a lot. The struggles were essentially when I finished school, as it was hard at first to find contracts that would actually pay enough, so I could live from my job.
Are you happy with your current job?
Yes, I'm really at a good point in my career.
If you could change the way you have gone in your career, would you want to change something?
I wish I could have studied abroad.
Have you or someone in your environment been confronted with burnout?
Yes, my mom did when I was younger. She had to take care of me and my sister and was working. We were in the US back then.
Have you ever been in a situation that was really stressful at work? If yes, could you tell us about it?
2 months ago, I was working for a company that did school pictures. It was a contract of 2 months. At the same time, I was working for a clothing company that wanted pictures of their new clothing line. I was working 8 to 5 for the school pictures and then had to come back home and edit the pictures for the clothing line. I was under a lot of stress and really tired all the time. I felt like my productivity was not at its best.
What do you personally believe to be the reasons for burnout, and how could someone possibly avoid them?
Since I have to do a lot of my work at home, it's impossible for me not to bring back work. I try to make sure that I like the contracts that I sign for.
Did the stress follow you back home into your personal life?
Yes, I was so tired that I kept snapping at people for nothing. My patience was really low and my parents started to be aware of it and warned me of the symptoms of a burnout.
What do you personally believe to be the reasons for burnout, and how do you think could people avoid them?
I think burnout comes with sleep deprivation, stress and not liking what you're doing. To me, the best way to avoid burnout is to make sure I have time for myself.
When speaking of mindfulness in a job-related context, what comes to your mind? How would you define the term?
To me, mindfulness is the fact that your life is balanced between work, family and friends. To take the initiatives of having time for myself and not worrying about work.
How old are you?
I am 46.
What is your nationality?
I am a born Italian, but I grew up in Germany.
What do you do for a living?
I work as a senior executive in one of the leading companies of the beauty industry.
Is it important for you to work in your home country?
I am currently working in China, and from a business point of view I feel new country, new culture, new way of doing business. From a private point of view, I miss my family. However, it's difficult to be integrated as a European in China.
What is your passion? Could you tell us a little bit about how you have reached the point at which you are now?
My passion has always been to find new challenges and become a better version of myself every day. I have reached my position through a combination of struggles, motivation, persistence, education and experience, but mainly I would say determination and willingness to focus on my goals. This helped me overcome the different challenges throughout my career. It was also always important to have enough humility to approach coaches and mentors whenever I was stuck.
Are you happy with your current job?
I believe that happiness in a job is overrated. I would say that currently my work-life balance is unbalanced. I also believe that top managers are not necessarily happy in their jobs. They have to make things happen and need to keep the different expectations of their stakeholders on their radar. However, I should answer your question regarding happiness, so my answer would be more yes than no.
If you could change the way you have gone in your career, would you want to change something?
Yes, I would have spent more time on my education and I would have done more internships to understand better how a company runs from a process and consumer point of view.
Have you or someone in your environment been confronted with burnout?
Yes, different people I know have had a burnout. Some of them very tough ones and some others had softer ones. However, the issue was in most of the cases that they had no work-life balance and were unable to manage their stress. A solution can be, as mentioned before, to use coaches and mentors in difficult situations. Especially strong people believe that asking for help is a weakness. Instead, I believe that it's one of the strengths that a top manager needs to succeed. Managers are problem solvers, and in this case they should solve a problem for themselves.
Have you ever been in a situation that was really stressful at work? If yes, could you tell us about it?
Every day. This is mainly the case when the markets are at a low and it's hard to achieve our goals. Here I need to keep the pressure high for my team without demotivating them. I guess that's part of the game.
Did the stress follow you back home into your personal life?
It always does.
What do you personally believe to be the reasons for burnout and how could someone possibly avoid them?
I believe that burnouts come from lack of work-life balance and other combinations of personal and job-related issues. It can be avoided by having a balanced family life, managing stress, doing sports as a balance, coaching and generally talking about it.
When speaking of mindfulness in a job-related context, what comes to your mind? How would you define the term?
It means a good working environment, good team spirit, an open-minded company culture and employee empowerment.
Even though the interviewed came from different cultures, followed different career paths and had an age gap that should not be neglected, their opinions towards the importance and positive effects of mindfulness were congruent. To answer the question posed at the beginning of the video, we believe that mindfulness has a positive effect for both employees and organization. A healthy and happy workforce is indispensable for organizational success. Mindfulness place goes beyond the workplace only. It includes a healthy family life as well as other activities to balance out the stress. The interviewees agreed that mindfulness should grant people with a good work-life balance. As both interviewees have stated, mindfulness prevents burnout. Therefore, mindfulness grants the organization with a happy and healthy team. Companies can encourage employees to work more mindfully by granting coaching, avoiding overtime, and rewarding employees and management after difficult situations. Like this, employees stay healthy and happy, are protected from burnouts, and produce high-quality work. A benefit for everyone.